Hi, welcome to the Library Podcast. This bookish podcast hopes to encourage readers to delve deeper into their local libraries and bookshops to find treasures among the shelves. This podcast is produced by the Marmarin Lake Public Library. My name's Kim. 2026 is upon us, but before we delve into the new year, Anne-Marie and Fred dropped by the library to share some of their favorite reads from 2025 and if they had any reading resolutions for 2026.
So I have 5 to share today, and for each one, I would like to just give 5 words or phrases just to give you a taste of what the book is about. And because 5 times 5 is 25, I thought that was
I love it.
fitting. Um, well, we're looking back, yeah. Yeah. So the first one, these are in no particular order, is The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. Grief, family, hope, humor, letter writing. The second one is More or Less Maddy by Lisa Genova. Mental health, heart-wrenching, raw, enlightening choices. The next one is The Listeners by Jordan Tannahill. Mysterious, faith, cult, philosophical, weird. The next one is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Endearing, captivating, interconnectedness, unlikely friendship, and Marcellus the Octopus. And the last one is What You Are Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. Life affirming, human connection, wisdom, unexpected gifts, and books.
That was wonderful. I really loved how you presented it. Fred, what were some of your favorite reads?
Well, I don't have as long a list as Anne Marie because I was reading a lot of sort of music biographies this year. And maybe they don't appeal as broadly as some other things. But one that was really good, if you're a David Bowie fan, and it is the 10th anniversary of his death, a book called The London Boys. It's about David Bowie and Marc Bolan and the 60s teenage dream. That was by Marc Burrows. So that's a good one if you like David Bowie. And it's got some interesting facts. But really, what I want to talk about is David Sedaris because I really enjoy his writing. He does essays in the New Yorker. I think that's probably where I first read him. And now I've been trying to read all the books in the library, which is hard because they're always out. You have to put them on hold. They've got great titles like Me Talk Pretty One Day, Let's Explore Diabetes with Owls, or Dress Your Family in Corduroy and Denim. The most recent is called Happy Go Lucky, but the one I want to talk about is Calypso, which came out in 2017. And I'd read it before, but this year I got the audio book, so I had David Sedaris read it for me, and that really changed the way I heard it because reading the book, there's some sad stories in there. It's told humorously, but it talks about the death of his mother, who was an alcoholic, and the suicide of his sister Tiffany in 2013. So some pretty hard things. But when he's reading it to you, it's more it's more of a lighthearted approach, and not to say that he doesn't feel those deaths pretty deeply, but he manages to just add some interesting anecdotes about them and tell them in a really good way. So I was left feeling better about the book. And his humor is sort of semi-autobiographical, I would say. I'm sure he embroiders it. And it really appeals to me because I'm trying to write that way. I try to write sort of memoirs with some embellishment. And I'm not as funny as David Sedaris, but it's something to aim for. So there's a lot you can explore about David Sedaris, but Calypso isn't a bad place to start.
Oh, that's great. Those are all wonderful recommendations. Now that we're in 2026, I was wondering if either of you have any reading resolutions for the year.
Yes, I have three reading resolutions that I'd like to share today. The first one is I want to keep a record of all the books I read because when I was making my list of 5 books, it was hard to remember. Like I had to really, really think about it. So, a lovely friend gave me a very kind gift at Christmas where it was a place like a reading log that I could record all my books, and I could give them like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. So I like that. And then that's a good way to remember. So I think for next year, I'll be more prepared. And the other thing I'm really trying to do, which I've already started, is every time I see a free little library on the side of the road, I'm like, stop the car. And I've been checking them out because you never know when you're going to find a real gem. I haven't found a real gem yet, but you never know. So that's another resolution, just because you never know what you're going to find. And the other thing which I'm still struggling with, and it is early on, is especially at nighttime, instead of picking up my phone and doom scrolling, I really want to go, nope, and I pick up a book because I find that when I read, especially when I read at night, I fall asleep faster and I have nicer dreams. And I think it's fun to just now, I'm a big fiction reader. Fred, I know you like nonfiction, but I love entering another world and forgetting this one for a while. So, yeah.
Oh, those are great. Fred, do you have any?
Mine are not as well thought out as Anne Marie's, but the first one is to really get into and read to the end all the books recommended by our book club because I've been sloppy this past year. And when I haven't loved the book, I've kind of left out big chunks of it. Just read the ending so I could talk about it in the meeting. So I'm going to try to read them all this year. And I'm afraid I'm continuing with my music biographies. So there's a newish one out about John Lennon and Paul McCartney. I think it's called Love Letters, and it's basically their relationship explained through the songs they wrote. And that sounds fascinating to me. So I'm definitely putting that on my list. Like Anne Marie in bed, doom scrolling, that's the problem. But for me, it's listening to an audio book that I enjoy doing. And yes, I do drift off, not because the book is boring, but just because it's a soothing thing to have somebody speaking in your ear. Yeah.
Thank you to Anne Marie and Fred for sharing their favorite reads of 2025 and for those thoughtful reading resolutions. Next, we have an original story written by local writer Martha.
The Bus Stop at the End of the World by Martha Hunt. You are standing at the end of the world. The sky is gray with low, scuttering clouds, and it is raining. It is always raining at the end of the world. A blast of cold wind tries to dive down the neck of your jacket, so you zip up higher and pull your collar tight. There are no trees at the end of the world. There is no vegetation at all, nothing green or growing. There are just flat gray rocks stretching out as far as you can see, like a massive limestone parking lot that eventually blends into the low gray clouds on the horizon. You don't know how you got to the end of the world. It seems as if you were suddenly arrived without being aware of the journey, but in fact, it has taken you your whole life to get here. You made the trail yourself, with every bad decision, every broken promise, every lie that you ever told, every betrayal. The rain starts to trickle down your neck. In the distance, you see a post sticking up out of the bleak flatness. It is blue on the top and bottom with white in the middle. It is the only thing of color that you see, so you start walking towards it. As you get closer, you see that there are black block letters running vertically on the white portion of the post, and you get close enough to read the words, bus stop. Now you notice that there is a bus shelter next to the bus stop sign. It looks like a regular bus shelter, a rectangular plexiglass box with a doorless entrance. A gray plastic bench is inside and a notice board hangs next to the entrance. It is empty. There are no bus schedules here at the end of the world. You are getting quite wet, so you step into the shelter. Immediately and magically, the inside of the shelter is instantly completely covered in a mass of colorful post-it notes. You did not see this before you stepped through the entrance, but now you are surrounded by hundreds and thousands of endless pink, yellow, lavender, blue, and green post-it notes, layered so thickly one upon the next that you cannot discern the bottom row. You slowly spin around, trying to take it all in. There are messages written on every post-it note, and you begin to read them. Some speak of regret. I am so sorry. That was the worst decision that I ever made. How could I have been that stupid? I should never have done that to you. Others are full of blame. I was raped. She left me. I became addicted after my injury. Life is unfair. Others offer advice. It's going to be okay. Keep moving forward. Wait for the bus. It is then that you realize that you're not alone at the bus stop at the end of the world. There are many others here with you. You cannot see them or touch them, but you know that they are all around you. Some are just arriving. Others are wandering away. Some are standing in the shelter with you, gazing at the note-covered walls. Others are moving purposefully away behind the bus shelter. You decide to follow this group, and you retreat out of the shelter back into the rain. Behind the bus shelter at the bus stop at the end of the world is a cliff. You only believe it to be a cliff because you can't see across to the other side, or see the bottom, or even the rock walls leading down to the bottom. The flat gray rocks beneath your feet simply end. And what comes next is a deep, completely black darkness. Yet it feels oddly comforting. You understand that stepping into it will relieve you of all your pain. It is an idea that's so compelling that you move your foot over the edge. The weight of a heavy hand descends upon your shoulder, so strong and determined that it spins you around, and you step back. No one is there, but the bus shelter seems to be glowing, just a little bit brighter. You are now completely soaked, not sure if the water on your face is from the rain or your own tears. You slowly make your way back to the shelter, where a blank post-it note and a pen are waiting for you on the gray bench. You write your own message. A bus arrives. The door to the bus opens and the driver beckons you with a smile full of invitation and warmth. She is wearing a parka and fur-lined mitts. Her smile is so natural that you think that smiling must be her only expression. Her eyes crinkle with laughter, and she welcomes you with a wondrous embrace. She smells of wood smoke and freshly baked bread. You know that you are going with her. It occurs to you that this is where you were supposed to have gone long before. Some others join you, smiling and laughing too. The bus doors close, and you start your new journey full of wonder and hope.
Thank you, Martha, for that wonderful reading and story. That brings us to the end of this episode of To the Library podcast. Thank you for spending time with us. Some of the books mentioned in this podcast were The Correspondent by Virginia Evans, More or Less Maddy by by Lisa Genova, The Listeners by Jordan Tannahill, Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, What You Are Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama, The London Boys by Marc Burrows, and Calypso by David Sedaris. We will be back next month with an episode discussing the author Nancy Mitford. Until then, keep reading.